Hello, hello, hello. It's coffee time again. It's coffee time somewhere in the world. Always, constantly coffee time. Oh, it got a bit cold. That was a mistake. Oh, what's in the news? I don't know. Should we go? Should we go for the top stories first? Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. I'm gonna. This is the story of Stephanie Matto. Don't worry, I've not heard of her either, but apparently she's one of those influencer types, and she looks a bit like this. I can't see what people see in her myself, but apparently, dear old Stephanie, who's 31, makes her money. I wish I'd have thought of this. She makes her money from farting into jars. Yes, she still farts in jars to strangers. There's a part of me wonders how true this story is, and maybe it's just a made up slow news day, made up story just to get her more, to sell more farts. But yeah, she was on a reality TV show called 90 Day Fiancé. Don't worry, I've never heard of it either. And since then, she's become a reality / influencer. Of course they do. And she's from Connecticut in the US of A. And her demand for her farts, her jarred farts. It's only the 5th of January. We've got to this already. I've got a good one later. I've got an even better story. But yeah, she demand for her jarred farts was so much that she consumed 3 protein shakes and a bowl of black bean soup. And then she felt really ill. And she thought she's actually having a stroke. I'm sure many of her fans have had a stroke whilst looking at her pictures. You know what I'm saying, lads. And lasses, if that's the way you flow. I mean, I don't care. So she went to the hospital over it. Why do I feel that this is just a fake story? But I'm hoping that we can get to the bottom of it. And let's hope that her career isn't gone with the wind and that she's a blowout. I don't script any of this, This is all made up, improvised, live, on the fly. So much so that I haven't actually looked at the stories. Old Boris, fluffy-haired leader, Boris Johnson, said that there's no more, we're not doing any more with COVID. COVID's fine, everything's fine. And they're going to be reducing the time, if you've got no symptoms, you don't have to have PCR tests, and they're going to be reducing the quarantine time, self-isolation time and everything. And if you're coming in, basically, we're done with COVID. COVID's over. It's so 2020, isn't it? We're moving on from Omicron until Omega comes. That's what we want, the Omega variant. And that's where Charlton Heston finds himself the last man on earth, I believe. I think that's what happens. With the Omega variant. But this is all to do with the staffing crisis. They're worried about the NHS and, of course, schools and all these other infrastructures collapsing because of people isolating because of the Omicron. So that's the thing. Meanwhile, over the channel, a little bit of ooh la la from Gay Paris and France. Old Macron, Emmanuel Macron, who's the he's the big boss over there, isn't he? He says that he wants to piss off the unvaccinated, and he wants to ban them from everywhere, so that he forces them to get vaccinated. Well, which kind of makes sense. But there's always going to be people that are anti-science because there's always going to be, there's no cure for stupid. We know that. You cannot, there isn't a jab for stupid. And if there was a jab for stupid, I reckon the stupid people, the first people to say they didn't want the jab to cure them of stupid. So, yeah, that's a thing. Meanwhile, this is, again, the hate on J.K. Rowling continues. This time it's not the anti-trans lot or the pro-trans lot. I always get mixed up. It's hard to tell them apart when they're all in dresses, isn't it? And blue hair, isn't it? But this is Jon Stewart, who's apparently a comedian, though. I don't know. He's gone off the deep end as well, because he claims that, now this is a stretch, he claims that J.K. Rowling is an anti-Semite because of her depiction of goblins in Harry Potter. Because the goblins look after the bank. And I don't know, Jews run the banks. No, we know that's an anti-Semitic trope. But apparently goblins are Jewish now because the way that they look. I bet they really ought to keep Jon Stewart away from J.R. Tolkien, because he'll have a field day with that stuff. This all goes back. Don't all the goblins and that stuff go back to, like, you know, fairy tales and the Brothers Grimm and medieval folk tales? You know, this is all based beyond Rowling and Tolkien. It goes back further than that. You know, why don't we just ban everything? We could just ban everything. Apparently, academics in the US are going to ban the phrase "no worries" because they don't understand what it means. No worries. Ban no worries because they don't understand what it means. There's two words. One of them is no. The other word is worry. Plural. I mean, if they're academics and they don't understand what no worries means, then maybe they shouldn't be academics. Have you ever thought about that, for a start? I mean, there's some really weird news out there. Really, really, really news. Meanwhile, Keir Starmer's tested positive for COVID again. I think he's a super spreader. I think we need to put him into permanent quarantine. I think isn't it about a fourth time he's got the COVID? So yeah, that's something. I'm saving my best story. I'm saving my best story to last. As soon as we're heading towards the 10-minute mark, maybe I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to go with it now. I'm going to go with the top story. Mind you, this is a story of police incompetence. This is the story of Roy Morton, who's 80, and he lives in Cricklewood, which is not in Hollywood. It's in London, and he was woken by the police, who smashed their way into his house and fired him with a stun gun, pinning him to the ground and handcuffing him. So he's 80 years old, and he does have. I don't know if he has a heart issue. I think he might have a heart issue now. But apparently he got the wrong address. He got the wrong address. They was actually looking for a 30-year-old black suspect, but instead they tasered an 80-year-old white suspect instead. Because, you know, the police, they're not very good. Problem is, all these whiteys, they all look the same, don't they? It's a bit of a problem these days. So yeah. Mind you, he's lucky, because if Roy Morton lived in America, he would be dead, wouldn't he? Because they'd have shot him. So I suppose it's not that bad. Always got to look on the bright side, isn't there? It's always a bright side. And yeah, this is a curious one. Because again, the mind boggles. Apparently, there's an increasing problem with, well, it's predominantly men photographing breastfeeding women in public, and so they're going to make it illegal. I mean, like upskirting and things like that. Stella Creasy, who's a Labour MP, I think she operates out of Walthamstow, my old manor, is putting forward this thing, and there's all these stories of women who've been harassed by men taking photographs. One woman said he had a long lens. I bet he did, love. It was only when he rubbed it. But and you just think, whoa, is there no end to depravity, you know, in the world, that we have to have legislation to handle every degree of pervert? Mind you, if they were wearing a dress, they'd been patted on the head. The police would have patted them on their head and waved them on their way. Oh, a little bit of controversy there. Little bit of controversy. But I'm going to end with the top story. My top story is this. Who loves it? Who loves it when there are things that look like other things? Do you like that? Do you like it? You know when they have things that look like other things? Well, we've got this cat, right? This cat. And he goes by that. Well, one of his nicknames is, are you ready for this? Freddie Mercury. Yes, we finally have a cat that looks like the Queen frontman himself. Here he is. And he was as a little kitten. Oh, Freddie Mercury. Isn't that good? Because we have had cats that have looked like nice Mr. Hitler. That's a joke. But yeah, here we have, and there's look, it's little end the story. End today with a nice story about a cat. Oh, he's looking a bit serious there. You see, there's a bit looking a bit serious. But yeah, look, we can just look at cats. And then there's this cat who looks a bit alarmed. I think that's Roger Taylor. He's want to know where the songs are. Where's all the royalties, man? So yeah, that's today's coffee time. We've got farts. We've got cats like Freddie Mercury. What more do you want? Alex says, did you hear Bill Gates is throwing money up Macron's behind to say this stuff? That's Alex Conway. He's another anti-vaxxer. Well, ever since I've had the vaccine, I've wanted to buy an Xbox. Oh, wait a minute, I've already got one. If you're anti-vaxxer, just go away. Go away and die. Because vaccines are cool. Everyone knows that the only reason you're still alive is because of vaccination and medical science. Vaccines. That's the way you do it. But Bill Gates is everywhere. Except he's not on Epstein's plane. There you go, a little bit of controversy there. Anyway, there's no one else in the chat room because we've only got 2 viewers. Because that's it. Because YouTube probably hasn't said that there's a live stream. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, farts and Freddie Mercury's cat as a cat. What more do you want? So that's it. Don't forget, drink it up.